Hello, everyone. We are back for another Skelly showcase. And once again, we are doing 5 more niche indie games. The rules for niche are simple. I considered anything with less than 1,000 reviews at the time I play them, with some exceptions occasionally. I also have to play each game for a minimum of an hour, so in many cases I will have played more or beat them. Our first game up is Super 10 Pin, developed by Modus Interactive. Is an N64 game clone with all the visuals, menus, and music of those old 64 games. People in the Steam reviews have compared it to games like Super Monkey Ball and Hyper Bowl. I cannot attest to that personally, as I never played those games. The era of games where I really started playing them as a kid was PS3, so it's a bit before my era. I can attest to one thing though, this game is super addictive and fits such a fun niche. The Steam review I saw that summed it up best is, this is the kind of game that should only be available in video rental stores. Gameplay wise, it's pretty simple. You have 5 frames on each track to get as many points as possible. You start with a ball, and in typical fashion, aim it, decide the power, and have a bar that if you hit it right, will get more of a spinning bar filled up. The spinning bar allows you to control your ball's direction so you can work your way around obstacles and angle at pins correctly. So if you waste it, you will just get bad scores or no score. You have worlds with different themes, city, forest, etc. 15 tracks in each world with a variety of ways to complete them, and different obstacles you have to find ways through and get past to get those destined strikes. You start off with 1 or 2 balls, and each course has a special ball or 2 on it that's usually for gaining a star on the map that gives you an instant strike, or to get through the specific design of that track. As far as levels work, you can just do them once and move on if you want. You don't have to get the bronze, silver, or gold stars on each level to pass. I personally made it a goal that I had to get at least bronze before moving on to the next track. I'm usually impatient with old games that are like 70% trial and error, but with this game, it really just fit the vibe, and I found myself enjoying the trial and error process, and figuring out ways to get to at least the minimum score I needed for bronze. That's the main thing I enjoyed about this game. There's no one way to get past the obstacles and get to the pins. You don't have to get the gimmick balls of that area, and everyone you can figure out how to do it with just a normal ball if you want. The game also has a 100 pin mode, which is just the same game, but with, you would have guessed it, 100 pins and higher score requirements. It also has local multiplayer to really complete that N64 mood. All in all, this is just a pure little game for when you want that arcade feel and to just chill and play. A game you can easily pick up and play a bit whenever. It's also only 12 bucks, so it's more than worth the price and the hours of just chill fun it provides. Next up, we have Blippo Plus, developed by Yacht, Telefantasy Studios, and Noble Robot. This one is special in that it's not really a game. It's more like an interactive movie at best. It's essentially a late night cable TV simulator, recreating that vibe of waking up at 3 a.m. as a kid and seeing whatever odd and ends program was playing on TV at the time. I watched for about an hour, getting completely through one of the channel packets it gives you, and started the second. You discover a wider narrative behind all the wacky antics, as it seems to be a first contact story of this universe discovering an alien signal and projecting their TV program to it, even adding a whole channel for the aliens. The shows also progress bit by bit through the packets, so you get this overarching alien storyline, alongside a bunch of different little side storylines as you watch each show. Program-wise, Blippo Plus has everything from little music videos, documentaries, talk shows, to channels that just aren't working. It gives a wide array of content, each little show being like a minute long, really immersing you in this wacky world. I really respect what a wild swing this is by the studio. I've never really seen anything like this. I will always respect art that takes wild swings such as this. So much work from so many people was clearly poured into it. It's a testament to their creativity. Of course, I don't recommend this if you just want a game to play, as you'll mainly just be scrolling channels and clicking on messages here. If you do give it a chance and engage with its narrative though, I'm sure you will find something rewarding. Have you ever felt the call for something more? Something invigorating? Something fulfilling? Well, I don't know why you're here for then. But the next game is Hang Time by Leo Langlois. This is a simple volleyball roguelike. You have your character, I did one other teammate who is mostly just a setter. There is a co-op mode, which I have not done, so I can't comment on it. You essentially are just playing games of volleyball trying to win a tournament, running into different teams with different styles as you go. Some are power spikers, others have floaty serves, some are all about defense. The controls are very simple. A and D has you move side to side across the court. W makes you jump, and pressing it again makes you spike. Pressing S in the air makes you do a tip. Standing still under the ball will have you bump it into the air to set it up or save it. Your AI teammate is really mainly a setter. He's never going to hit the ball besides when it's a third touch and he has to bump it over to the other team. It's the same for the opponent's teammate though, as well. Blocking happens automatically if we run to where the ball is landing. It's also a viable strategy to jump and block near the net to knock their ball right back onto their side fast. There's physics involved with the ball and player bodies, so that can add some wonkiness and unexpected situations, as a ball flies off the screen, or spikes straight down and has you score on yourself. It all adds to that chaotic energy of the game though, especially when you are having a fast back and forth battle with the other team when it happens to one of you. The simple and yet chaotic and fast paced nature of this game can make it challenging. I have not fully won a run yet, which is mostly because I suck and was a slow learner, but also due to RNG and chaotic moments in matches. Upgrade wise, it varies after matches. You either get abilities such as being able to move fast, unpredictable spikes, or you'll get options to boost certain stats. The stats you have are stuff like your 2 serves, blocking, spike power, jump, etc. There's not too much variety. It's a lot of RNG as you just have to hope you get choices for the things you want. Honestly, with the abilities, some are useful, and some seemed useless. I couldn't even really make out what they did. Stats are also skewed in usefulness, with things they block just being far and away the best option, especially for later in the run. So you're mostly just hoping one of your 3 choices has boosts for the player, or the much better stats, or else you're just going to have a fairly meh player. There's only a handful or so of enemy teams. You'll start recognizing them in their playstyles pretty fast, which can make things feel a bit repetitive. I personally enjoyed the gameplay loop though, so I did not mind this. The art style of this game is very simple. It plays and looks like a flash game of old. It's only $10 though, and for that price, I had more than enough fun dumping 3 hours into it instantly. It's also a solo dev, so I'm not expecting anything next level for that price. I do hope they continue to update and add more things, balance the game a bit better, but overall, this was just a fun couple hours to burn. If you like roguelikes and got $10 to spare, I recommend it for you. Have you ever missed the childhood joy of mimicking graphic violence through the act of smashing toys together? No? Just me? Well, regardless, I have a game for you. Toy Smash Kaboom is a backpack auto battler where you organize toys in your desk to battle other players' builds in order to win fights and progress. For those who don't know what a backpack battler is, essentially you have a limited space grid where you organize different items, weapons, and summons that you get. Each one has different sizes that you can rotate and make fit in certain areas or work better together, so you can synchronize items and combos and everything else. Just think of it as an auto battler, with the main system being similar to Resident Evil inventory management. This appears to be the first game by Free Particle, and it is also my first experience with the backpack battler genre. At first it seems very overwhelming, especially with all the stuff in this game and the visual color that can happen, but despite appearances, I found it pretty easy to get into and understand, despite only having played one auto battler before. The game has a good bit of variety, having 4 heroes, and then each hero having 2 classes. There are just so many different builds you can do that each character feels a good bit different. You can build up one giant summon, or do mostly magic damage, have plants shooting from afar, or undead creatures that come back to life to punish the enemy. Do you want an elemental damage build, or an army of summons? This game's biggest asset is its pure amount of variety and combinations. The game has a couple game modes, the main one being ranked, which has you fighting the builds of other players. You have 5 losses before you get eliminated, and the goal is to get 10 wins. It goes on until you get those wins or lose. If you win, you can continue to get up to 5 more wins in order to get more points. There's also a casual mode, which is just ranked without the points. And then a challenge mode where you can pick other people's builds to fight each other. I really only played ranked during my time in the game, as it lets you progress your character and unlock new events, and you don't lose much at all if you lose. The most frustrating thing about this game is its balancing. Some builds are just way more viable than others. Music build is just the easiest way to get fairly easy wins, as they do so much magic damage. I find myself picking the musician character a lot just for this easy path. I wish stuff like undead builds were simply more viable. It feels like unless you get a true perfect build, you're going to be losing a lot of the time, especially if you run into music builds. Essentially, my edgy ass wants to play the ghost trick-or-treater characters and just do undead and alien builds, but the winner in me knows it's best to just pick the musician and string together broken magic builds that do so much damage and healing. Overall, this is a very addicting game with a very charming presentation and art style. It's so easy to find yourself losing hours into this game, and even with the balancing issues, the devs have already made like 3 balance adjustment updates in such a short time since it's been out. So I hope things will get better and more cool stuff will be added. More than worth its $14 price tag. I recommend this if you like auto battlers, backpack roguelikes, or if you just want something that requires strategy. It's also just very easy to get into the flow of and turn your brain off as you watch your builds come together. The last game of this showcase is Cat Named Mojave, a psychological horror game in which you get lost in the desert. Your car breaks down. The only way to get out is to help this anthropomorphic cat man named Mojave in order to get a car battery from him. The help in question being that he wants you to hunt and kill other anthropomorphic animals so that he can eat them and have them as trophies. I'm only going to show the trailer for this game as I talk, as this is a game I think it's best to either experience yourself or watch a full playthrough of. This appears to be the first game of Stargaze Studios. I see a lot of people comparing it to mouthwashing, and I can somewhat see it. Both involve a lot of walking with some horror elements and delve into darker themes along the way. Mojave is shorter, clocking in around an hour and a half before I beat it. I also feel like it had more gameplay and puzzles in it in that time than something like mouthwashing did. You have some shooting sections with the shotgun and a handful of puzzles, though neither is super deep or crazy, but they also aren't mindless. The writing and world of Mojave is very intriguing. You'll get to learn more about the nihilistic Catman and see hints of the messed up world he inhabits. The thing that holds this game back the most is its lack of choice. There's a lot of illusion of choice. It's a game that forces you into making the hard choices. You can't just shoot the animals right away. You have to follow along with their little scenarios. You also can't avoid the bloodshed. For a game with the messages it's going for, I feel like this does hurt its execution a bit. I don't feel like I'm being corrupted or touched by the nature of violence in many of the scenarios. I thought at least this game had multiple endings, but according to reviews, there's just one, which makes it a bit more disappointing. I still really like all it was going for in concept. It just needed expanded on more in my opinion. It feels sort of half-baked. Regardless of that though, I had a good time. I liked the writing a lot. The game even managed to jump scare me a couple times, which is relatively hard to do. If anything, this game has made me interested in the studio's next project and seeing if they grow and expand their next thing. This game is worth the $10 for the little experience it gives you. I would recommend it for the people who like horror walking sims like mouthwashing and just want to have an intriguing hour or two. Now before we go to the conclusion of this video, I have one more game I want to mention real quick to keep an eye on. Recently I played the playtest of a game called About Fishing. I saw it on Steam, and what caught my attention was its retro look and the fact that a character looked like Laura Palmer from Twin Peaks. It is being developed by the Water Museum, and this is their 4th game, Arctic Eggs being the one they are most known for. The playtest has you playing what I assume to be the intro of the game. You are a young girl, fishing with what I also assume to be her grandfather. The fishing mechanics are controlled with mouse motion. You cast your line, and when the fish bites, you reel it in with a left mouse click. Move your mouse to control the fish and make it face your character as it fights against you in the line. That's the normal fishing aspect, nothing too special, but more interactive and fun than a lot of fishing minigames. The other part of it is that you can take one of your caught fish, tie it to the end of your line, and cast it back into the water, and control it in order to find the secrets the sea contains, by using the fish to wrap the line around the items and reel it back in. The playtest concludes after you catch a couple fish and find the big secret of the area. The Steam page of this game says it was inspired by Shenmue and Sega Bass Fishing, but with how the playtest ends, I just cannot imagine it not also being inspired by Twin Peaks, at least some. The playtest was only 30 minutes long, but already this game has really hooked me, pun intended, and is so full of atmosphere and intrigue already. It captures such a distinct, almost forgotten vibe that is simultaneously somber, cozy, and a bit creepy. It feels like a dream you forget about once you wake up, the hazy fog of memory snatching it until you remember the feeling more than anything that happened in it. This is a game I will be getting day one, and I encourage you to keep an eye on it as well. With that, we wrap up this niche indie showcase. This one took a while, mainly because of other projects and being busy in my life, but I hope you enjoyed it regardless, and you found at least one game that interested you. I'm just a curious skeleton, and I'll see you next time.